So I drive this old rusty pickup truck, and while the heater doesn't work unless it's on full blast, and it only has a basic radio with the CD player for the audio entertainment, it still gets the job done, taking me from point A to point B. Now, do I wish that it had working AC and some sort of high-end features such as Bluetooth, or a rear view backup camera, or an Apple Audio CarPlay system? Of course. Now, those things might not be necessary, but they sure are nice to have. And that's kind of what these Recoverfun Aircups are like. Necessary? Not really. Nice to have? Absolutely. So if you want the full breakdown on these little bad boys, then stick around and watch this video. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this video. I'm gonna get right to it here so that I don't waste your time. So timestamps are in the description, and we're starting off with the final verdict, followed by the rationale for that verdict, because I like you guys and I wanna respect your time. And if you're cool with that, feel free to hit that like button to let me know. Now, full disclosure here, Recoverfun reached out to me asking me if I'd like to review these little cups, to which I agreed. And they sent me a pair of these Aircups in exchange for my review. Now, no money has been exchanged in this process, and everything in this review is of my own opinion. Recoverfun does not get to see this video before its release, and I am not being compensated for this video in any way. So here's the final verdict. These cups are incredibly powerful, built well, and fun to use, but they're not essential to have. Now, that doesn't mean that they're a waste of money by any means or anything like that. They're pretty effective, and it just means that if money is tight or you don't plan on using them all that often, then I'd likely hold off from purchasing them. Now, if you have the spare money for them, then they can likely be a helpful adjunct in certain aspects of your musculoskeletal therapy. Now, I just say that because I get a bit weird when it comes to spending money. I've never had much of it, and even a couple of $100s is a lot of money to me. Now, currently, as of the time of making this video, a pair of these cups go for $229 US, and I just want everyone to spend their money wisely these days. So don't feel like you can't get better without these little guys. There are plenty other ways to treat your body, be it with less expensive cups or other modalities or techniques altogether. So who do I recommend these cups for? Well, ultimately, for anyone who wants some high-powered cups with some nifty features, but won't blow their personal financial budget in the process. And again, to be clear, they're built well, they look great, and certainly have a time and place for their use. I do quite like them. All I'm saying here is that if you can afford a Porsche, get a Porsche. And if you can only afford an old Honda Civic, it'll still take you from point A to point B just the same, just perhaps without the extra bells and whistles, which can make the ride a bit more luxurious. I hope that analogy makes sense. So diving into the packaging. Now these cups come in a well-built carrying case that looks nice and adequately serves its purpose. And anytime you're dropping some of your hard-earned money on a product, my expectation is that you should receive a carrying case to help protect your purchase, especially if you plan on transporting it on a regular basis. And Recoverfun has done a great job with doing so. Now each Aircup comes with different sized cups in order to best serve the body part that you're treating, which is quite nice. Now you just screw them on and off based on which size you want to use, and they also come with extra filters that you can swap out when needed as time goes on, as the filters serve to make sure that no debris or dust particles are pulled into and through the motorized suction pump. As for the build quality, there's nothing to complain about here. The cups are built well and they are quite robust. In fact, I accidentally dropped one of them after the suction seal on my skin broke, and it took a massive fall and tumble onto the hardwood floor, but thankfully it still works just fine. Which does lead me to the next point. The cups come with lanyards that you certainly want to use. The instant that the vacuum seal is broken, these cups will fall right off your skin, and if that's the case, you want them to be attached around your arm so that they won't fall and hit the ground. Now, my one gripe with the lanyards is that while they certainly are nice to use, I'd like there to be some sort of cinch-up strap that allows you to secure it around your wrist a bit more securely. Now, the lanyards that attach to the cups can easily fall off your wrists since there's no way to tighten them up and secure them to your arm or your wrist. So that's one little change I'd like to see, and it should be rather easy for the Recoverfun team to implement if they do want to take any of my insight. Now, when it comes to the noise of these motorized cups, I was initially concerned that they would be a bit too noisy for my liking, and that was because I had seen a very similar set of cups in action on various social media posts, and the other brand that I saw were extremely noisy. But thankfully, the Recoverfun motors don't seem to be nearly as loud. So the noise is well within an acceptable limit for my preferences. Now, speaking of other brands, there are a few other very similar looking brands of cups on the market, and they're so similar looking that it's to the point that I'd be hard pressed to determine a brand difference without taking a closer look at them. So keep that in mind in case you find other similar looking devices online, because they may be made by different brands. Now, it seems to be one of those situations where in the world of massage guns, for example, there's a million different brands out there that all look to do the same thing. In terms of versatility, the cups come with 5 different pre-programmed suction modes, all of which seem quite adequate, though I've been mostly using mode 1 and 4. Now, I haven't used mode 5 much, which is designed as a dynamic cupping mode, which Recoverfun says emulates more of a gua sha mode. And variety certainly is nice and somewhat expected for the price point of these cups, so kudos to Recoverfun for having some different modes to select from. Now, as I mentioned earlier, these cups, while a lot of fun to use, might not be within your personal budget, which is totally fine. Now, even though I've been having fun using these little guys, I still opt to use my silicone cups quite frequently, both on myself as well as my patients. Now, not only can you pick up a package of a bunch of silicone cups for just a few dollars, but silicone cups offer some great, unique features. For starters, it's no big deal if you drop them, and as well, the silicone cups are great for external dynamic glides or for internal glides, and while you can do this with the Aircup, I find that I still opt for the silicone cups for various body parts with this type of treatment. Now, the silicone cups are no slouch when it comes to their suction power, but they're certainly nowhere near the level of these Aircups. So if you don't have any cups at this point in time and you really want to get some, my recommendation would be to start off with a set of silicone cups. Now, they don't cost much and they are incredibly versatile and durable. And if you can't quite get what you're hoping for out of traditional silicone cups, especially when it comes to the suction power, then it might be worth considering the Aircup. But hey, if you're made of money or cash isn't an issue for you in any sort of way, then feel free to pick up these guys immediately. So moving on to the only real con or negative that I encountered with these cups, and it's kind of an odd one, and perhaps not even truly a negative. Nonetheless, I actually feel like these cups are a bit too powerful, at least at their level 1 setting. Now, the Aircup has 5 different power settings, but I, along with the others whom I've used these cups on, tend to find that even level 1 tends to be a bit too aggressive for our liking, though it does depend, at least to a certain extent, on which area of the body you are treating. Now, this might not be the case with you, however, and it's certainly worth pointing out that it's good to know that these cups will stick to you even on their lowest setting. Now, if they had a weak suction effect and were underpowered, then they'd be more likely to fall off, tumble to the ground, and break, especially if you're not using the provided lanyard. Nonetheless, I haven't used these things beyond their level 2 setting, and I don't imagine that I personally will. Although it is nice to know that there is some extra suction power there if needed. But unfortunately for myself and for some of the individuals whom I've tested these cups on, we find that level 1 is still a bit too aggressive at times, at least on certain areas. But that's where the silicone cups can come in and save the day if I still want to cup the area. And for what it's worth, I'd rather have them be a bit too powerful on their lowest setting than not powerful enough. Again, if they're not powerful enough, they'll fall off even with the lanyard on. They'd likely take some punishment banging into things as a result. So there you have it. Those are the quick thoughts on my experience with the Recoverfun Aircups. Not a bad little device, but not necessary either. Now, if you have further questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. So, as always, keep looking after yourselves, keep looking after one another, keep making great things happen, and I'll see you in the next video.